There's real problems here. Araujo with the challenge. The Aspas down.
This video is sponsored by KlipDraw, a software that we use to edit our videos. If you're interested in using this software too, please see the description below for affiliate links. A sexy Chris Smalling or the heir to Gerard Pique? Just how good is Ronald Araujo? Araujo's standout attribute is his aerial ability. Now for a young defender, he averages nearly 65% success in the air, and to be honest, once that ball's in the air, he's nearly always the favourite, especially when he's in that right back position and he's competing against wingers. Now, he stands at 6'2" tall, so he's not as tall as a Pique or a Van Dijk, but he's got a powerful build, he's got good spring, so that makes him a powerhouse in the air, and he's a threat in both boxes, as we saw against Real Madrid in the El Clasico. If we're being ultra fussy, his judgment in the air is not always perfect, so he needs to anticipate the flight of the ball better, but he's definitely a threat. In terms of his powers of anticipation, Araujo is someone who blocks plenty of shots. His interception count is relatively low compared to others, and his foul count is generally quite high, so that suggests a player who's got the ability to anticipate, but it's probably not his major strength compared to a Marquinhos or a Van Dijk, whose foul count is usually a bit lower. Generally, he's someone who, he can be quite proactive, but generally, I'd say he's a more reactive defender, relies on his athleticism to bail him out. Here, he's a bit more progressive, tries to anticipate, but he's a bit clumsy in making that interception. Here against Vinicius, this is poor. Now, he should be using a fake to force Vinicius down the line and then use his athleticism there. But he kind of just very conservative and then allows Vinicius to dictate the situation. Once again here, I think he should push Vinicius down the line, but he shows him inside. Again, it's to traffic, so it's not a major issue, but it's something to watch out for. Statistically, Araujo isn't someone who's always going to go to ground, but he does love a tackle. He reminds me of Pique in that he's a very classy tackler when he goes to ground. He's not reckless. So despite his size, he's a clean tackler for the most part. I'd say his high foul count is due to overexcited or over-exuberant interception attempts standing up rather than mistimed ground tackles. Statistically, Araujo stands out amongst centre-backs when it comes to dribbling success rate, but that's probably because he's also played at right-back, and that's definitely helped his ability to run with the ball. It reminds me a bit of Sergio Ramos in his formative years, where playing out on the right really forced. This is actually a very quick feat there for a big man. Araujo. In terms of Araujo's long passing, let's just say it needs a lot of work. It's surprising for a defender who plays under Xavi to have such a poor success rate with a long ball altogether. This suggests he does have the technique, or potentially the technique, just needs to tighten it. In terms of Araujo's short passing game, it isn't really any much better than his long passing game. I mean, it is more accurate, 90% is nothing to be sniffed at, but he's not asking for the ball often enough, and when he does, he at times looks uncomfortable. I mean, these are simple movements to make, but the angles at which he's receiving the pass is questionable. The timing and decision of who to pass to is also questionable. When he's on the front foot, his passing is slightly better. He can spot runners. I'd say his execution and weight of the pass does need to be slightly better, but there is potential for him to be a good passer in that regard. Tactically, Xavi sets up in a 4-3-3, and Araujo's role is usually the right centre-back. He's paired up with Eric Garcia, not Pique, when he's played as a centre-back. Reason being, body-wise, Pique and Araujo are quite similar, both quite bulky, big, and you need a nippier defender with them as a pairing to make it work. Now, when he's paired with Eric Garcia, he tends to be the more deeper lying defender. Now, that might seem strange because Garcia seems more of the ball player, but long balls over the top, if it does bypass everyone, you want Araujo as the man heading that ball. You wouldn't want it to be Eric Garcia. He's also good at sweeping the channels because of his experience at right back. So he's very good at sort of being the defensive sweeper. Now, when Pique is deployed as a centre back, Araujo is at times deployed as a right back. Now, together they work in tandem. Pique's lack of pace now as he's got older, Araujo can cover for that. So Araujo plays more of a Lilian Thuram type role when he's played in the same lineup as a Gerard Pique. Statistically, if we look at this pie chart, it's based on FBref stats. Aerially, again, super impressive with Araujo 94th percentile. Percentage of dribblers tackled. Again, it shows that fact that when he's playing at right back and he's up against a lot of dribblers, he's got that Lilian Thuram-esque sort of centre-back's mind, but in a right back situation, and the athleticism. So that makes him a very difficult player to get past. It's only going to be players like Vinicius with that top tier agility that he's kind of struggling with. But again, that can be tweaked with better coaching, I would say. Other standout attributes, his progressive carries, he really eats up yards and he's a real goal threat. 97th percentile compared to other defenders. So, you'd want him there in the box when it's set pieces. In conclusion, I don't think Araujo is on the same level as Chris Smalling. He's definitely better, but I don't see him on the same level as a Gerard Pique. Pique developed into one of the finest sweepers in the modern game and was very skillful on the ball, very progressive on the ball. I don't see Araujo having that same level of intelligence and flair on the ball as Pique did. However, he could develop into a world-class stopper with that Uruguayan background, with that athleticism, that aerial ability, good recovery pace. If he's alongside, say, a Marquinhos in his prime, that could be a very tasty partnership. So he could be a better version of, say, a Kimpembe or a Ruben Diaz, that type of defender who falls between hybrid of defensive sweeper and stopper. So that's the sort of player I see him developing into. He's at the right club to work on his weaknesses, which is making the right angles to get on the ball properly, make it easier for the players around him to get on the ball. So, who better to learn off than Xavi? Now, if he was to leave Barcelona due to their financial situation, I could easily see him thriving in the Premier League. I could see him doing that sort of Joel Matip role to a more greater, skillful defender next to him. So yeah, he's someone who quite easily is Champions League level already in terms of group stage level. Is he someone that could progress into the higher upper echelons of the game? I think he could reach world-class stopper, and that's as far as it goes. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Please like, share and subscribe, and see you guys again next time.